Ever felt frustrated, overwhelmed, or stuck wasting time in admin instead of growing, leveraging, and scaling your business? Then this podcast is for you. Welcome to Delegate to Elevate, the podcast that's all about handing off what you don't need to do so you can focus on what you do best. So here's your host, Bonnie Schutz.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Schutz, the host of Delegate to Elevate to get shit done. Welcome to episode 10. 10. That seems like a milestone to me. At least it is to me on my end. This episode, I have decided to make it a super real talk about my own experience with delegation and how I've gotten over obstacles in my mind and through it with my team and things like that to truly feel the power of it. And it wasn't always there. I had to develop it and hone it in and make it into an art. Am I Van Gogh? No, but I'm getting closer. Maybe Monet, hardly. So, many businesses and business owners live in constant chaos. And that word chaos is used a little bit too much in my head, but it's a perfect example of what I used to call, before I started calling it chaos, was pinging. I felt like I was pinging every which way but loose. I was pinging everywhere and just not realizing what it was doing to me. In the beginning, I thought it was exciting and fun, and I had a lot of energy, and it was just a thing I did as an EA in corporate. Pinging, I thought, was one of my quote unquote superpowers, because it was what maybe back in the day they called multitasking, or what I like to call rapid task switching. So, but it truly is chaos. It can get to be chaos. And I was always reacting to the chaos instead of being proactive about it. And the only thing that ended up bringing me clarity to that chaos was plugging into the expertise of others, plugging in and giving myself permission to not do it all. I used to think that doing everything myself was a sign of success. Look at all the things, Mom. Look at everything I'm doing. And then outwardly, oh gosh, she's awesome. Look how far she's come. They don't know nothing about me. But in my head, that was success. I was like, I'm able to juggle all this, so I'm a success. But you know what that mindset leads to? And for me, it did. I mean, at least it came this close. It leads to burnout. And it can truly stunt your growth as a CEO, a solopreneur, a small business owner. And I got scared. I wanted to continue growing. I didn't want to fail. We've talked about failing in the past. I didn't want to fail. I wanted to be successful. And so when business owners hesitate to delegate, it doesn't mean that you're a failure because you do. That's where I can't quite figure that out. You're not a failure because you're delegating. And you're saying, I need to do this and less of that. So that needs to be delegated and moved on to somebody else so that I can be there in that zone. I realized that some tasks in particular were truly draining my energy. And they were not moving that business forward. We'd have this steady increase as we grew, but then we began to plateau. And I think that plateau was really the smack in the face or the gut punch that showed me that I wasn't delegating enough or, anything. I can't remember the exact timing, but if I was delegating anything at that point, when I saw that plateau, and I'm a very visual person, when I saw it like laid out in front of me, I was like, wow, we used to be like this and now we're like this. And if you're just listening, we used to have this steady incline, and then now we were literally hitting that plateau and just going flatlined. it was steady but it was flat, and flat wasn't good for me. So what I did first off was I started to identify the tasks that I was doing to potentially hand off. And then I had to think about, and I would encourage you to think about, is what can you hand off first? And in this podcast, after this fun 10th episode, I'm going to begin to bring on some amazing guests in different industries, different areas of professional services. And they're all going to be able to give me some input on this. Like, may I ask them all, what was the first thing you handed off? The first thing that I handed off, I believe, if I recall correctly, was my social media. And the sad thing, but true, is I really liked doing it, but it took a lot of time. And my zone of genius was my relationship building and selling and marketing my business through relationship building. Did I just say relationship building twice? Well, what the heck? That's okay. Maybe it'll sink in if I say it more than once. So I guess what I did was really grab onto the fact that living in my zone of genius didn't mean I was giving up control, but I was learning from my team that if I gave them things to do, things that they were really good at, or not only my team, but through my network, people I knew in my network, I knew a graphic designer or like a marketer that specialized in graphic design and branding. And so like leaning in with that person and going to that service professional for them to help solve my problem of inefficiency was like, boom, yes. The people on my team and the first couple of people that I outsourced things to lifted me up and gave me more hope. Service professionals bring so much to other service professionals. That makes me think of how doctors are the worst patients. So for all those of you that have helped me, I'm sorry if I was a terrible patient. Because I'm a little bit of a control freak. But, I'm getting out of it because I've been delegating more. And when you really master the task and the art of delegation, you do stop being that bad patient and you just are more like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, I can't tell you how many times I say thank you in a day and how many times I say, do you know how much I appreciate you? Do you really know? Or sign every email to them. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just so happy for the people that I've been able to bring in to support my business that it just, I hope comes through to them, that I truly, truly am so grateful. My life and my business improved once I dove in head first and really started just shuffling out those tasks that were draining the freaking life out of me. And what it gave me as a benefit was improved focus. I could literally focus on something and not ping around and do it all. I could focus and get something done, and not just done, but done good. Because with that time, I gained clarity, one of those 7 C's, and true peace of mind. I wasn't stressing as much. And there's always going to be stress when you own and operate a business, but not as much. So I had a bit more peace of mind, and it took me a bit, but I began trusting others to take ownership of their roles or the tasks that I've delegated to them to bring myself a bit of emotional relief. So all in all, delegation isn't really just about, freeing up time, but also creating space for growth. You would not believe the amount of growth that I've had as a person, as a human, as a leader, as a CEO, since I started delegating to others. And that's not just me blowing smoke up your ass. I truly have made changes by delegating to others. and collaborating and creating with others. So I'm not alone. Delegation is truly not just the simplicity of handing off a task to another person or a project, but it's small steps towards trust and expertise and knowledge that you gain from others to propel you and your business forward. I am so excited to see what this podcast can bring to you. And I am so receptive to your suggestions, and whatever you'd like to talk about, pop it in the comments, send me a message, which I guess I can announce this. You may hear about this already, but if you go to my website, which is Delegate, 2 Elevate podcast.com, there will be a feature on there where you can actually poke the button and leave an audio message for me that I will personally reply back to. You can tell me what you like, what you don't like, what I maybe should be a great subject to talk about, or something you're experiencing, and I can impart my wisdom upon you after this nearly a decade of doing this shit on my own outside of corporate. I cannot wait to find who wins the contest and becomes my VIP for a day, to take you around Denver, Colorado to the finest eateries and just being in the presence of each other to laugh and learn and grow. It's going to be a great experience. We will brainstorm what you got going on in your business, what you've been strong enough to delegate, what you haven't thought about, could be a belief about what you want to delegate. We can do all the things and we'll come out with some sort of a plan for you. So be sure you subscribe and comment and tell your friends about the podcast. And, thank you. I appreciate you. I am in this with you. Mano y mano, man. We are professional service providers doing all the things through the power of delegation. We are moving forward. Have an amazing day. Thank you.
So that's it for today's episode of Delegate to Elevate. Head on over to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen and subscribe to the show. One lucky listener every single week that posts a review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes will win a chance in the grand prize drawing to win a $15,000 private VIP day with Bonnie herself. Be sure to head on over to delegatetoelevatepodcast.com. That's with the number 2. And pick up a free copy of Bonnie's gift and join us on the next episode.